following is a Galactic Digital Studios production. It's the tech podcast where the only things that change faster than the technology that we use on a day-to-day basis is the background noise. This is Tech Talk, part of the Closing Tag Network. I am Raul Smith, Head of Development and Design over at Galactic Digital Studios. If you are in the market for video editing, graphic design, logo design, web development, or SEO services for your business, visit Galactic Digital Studios at galacticdigitalstudios.com. Galactic Digital Studios, out of this world service at down-earth prices. So, I want to try and bring back something that I thought was lost in the annals of time, but I'm going to be bringing it back today. So before we do that, I do want to convey some news for all the developers that are listening to this podcast. And that is that Next.js 14 is out today. Or whenever you're listening to this podcast, it is out right now. So I do want to kind of go over some bullet points as the dogs are barking in the background. What changes or what enhancements are made with Next.js 14? Next.js 14, I believe, wanted to work on some partial pre-rendering or pre-re-rendering, I should say. So fast initial static response, and then couple that with streaming dynamic content. It also worked on some things with server actions. So it's integrating with caching and revalidating a lot more. It's progressively enhancing mutations a lot better. And it is making simple function calls and working natively with forms. But the thing that I'm really excited for, and this is the reason why I'm going to be emphasizing Next.js 14 today, is that TurboPack tested 5,000 different applications that were used in Next.js 14. And for the app and pages router, it is showing 53% faster local server startup and 94% faster code updates with fast refresh. So if you don't know, there's a way to test your app in a browser in one screen as you're working on your app in another screen. And as you're making changes in the code and you're saving those changes in the code, the fast refresh allows you to be able to see those changes in real time. So say, for instance, I move an image from a left-aligned dev or something. My brain just went bleh. And I want to center align it. I center align it using some CSS class or whatever. And then, depending on which CSS framework you use, whether it be Tailwind or Bootstrap or just plain CSS, then as I save it, it should automatically make those changes viewable on the browser screen. So 94% faster, that is nuts. That is awesome. I love it. So with that said, today we are going to be bringing back the tutorials. Now, those of you that have been around since the Owl's Ramblings or Owl Drops Knowledge videos on YouTube already know what I'm about to do. I'm about to go in and do a tutorial on how to do something in a particular technology. And my hope is that for developers, this is a good learning tool to be able to then apply what it is that I'm showing you today to maybe help you get that next developer job, or that next developer position, or maybe even a raise or something that will help you with your career. So that is my hope for that. So let's go ahead and switch over there. And I am going to try to verbally convey what it is that I'm doing, because I know not everybody is listening to this on YouTube, Facebook, or Spotify. For some reason, I only realized a couple weeks ago that Spotify now has a video feature in its app. But for those that are listening and not watching, I am going to try to convey verbally what it is I'm doing. So right now I have a screen pulled up of my IDE or text editor, Visual Studio Code. I definitely recommend Visual Studio Code to anybody that's in development, particularly for two reasons. One, it has an integrated GitHub feature that you can download as an add-on or a DLC. That will then, I mean, it's all free, by the way. All of it is free. Visual Studio Code, GitHub, all of it's free. That will allow you to more easily make changes on your repository based on the changes that you make locally. And the second reason that I definitely recommend Visual Studio Code is the integrated command line. Command line is going to be where you're going to do a lot of your node installations and your node package management installations. So that is something that I really enjoy about Visual Studio Code. But enough of me talking Visual Studio Code up. Let's talk code up. And we are going to then go ahead and run npx create next app at latest. That's important. You want to put the at latest because that will take the latest stable version of Next.js and install it. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to go next app 14. I will not be using TypeScript or ESLint or Tailwind or the source directory or app router. I like pages. I'm a big advocate for pages. I'm not a big advocate for app router or React router. That's one of the reasons why I like Next.js so much. And I will not be customizing the default import alias. So we're just doing the bare bones Next.js application. So with that, it should install everything relatively easily. And it does. Success. Awesome. There were no warnings, which is awesome. The node modules folder is a pain to move or upload or anything. That's why by default GitHub says, hey, let's not include that in your repository, because yeah, that's going to take forever to upload and it'll probably take up a gigantic chunk of server space. You'll see the pages folder, which is where all of your pages are going to be. There's your index, which is going to be the home base, if you will. API, that's where you're going to have a lot of your API routes and whatnot. App.js is just a basic boilerplate thing to put in place to read the pages and whatnot. That's where it's going to say, hey, we're taking everything that's in this folder, in the pages folder, and we're routing it through index.js. Document is new. I don't think I've worked with this before, but anyway, public, that's where you're going to have a lot of your like your favicons, your SVGs, assets that are basically being used in the application for Next.js. And then styles is where, I mean, that's self-evident and self-explanatory. That's where you're going to have a lot of your CSS files. So your global CSS and then your custom CSS that you'll then need to import using styles from here. So as you'll also see, there is also a git ignore, which you definitely want to keep that, especially if you're using GitHub. JSON or jsconfigure.json, that just gives you an option to insert compiler options. Next.config.js, that's just configuring your Next.js application. Package lock and package JSON is where you're going to have a lot of your packages and whatnot. Now, for those of you that remember the site build, the original site build for the closingtag.com, I'm kind of sad that I had to tear that down, but there's a reason for that. And you remember all the weeks that were leading up to the actual site build. You remember that I was putting in like different dependencies, I was putting in different scripts and whatnot. Now there's one script that I absolutely would recommend, especially if you are going to be uploading your Next.js application as a web application through FTP. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So we're going to go export. That's the name of the script. And I only learned about this a couple weeks ago when I was doing some updates on one of my websites. One of my, actually it was the main website, GalacticDigitalStudios.com. We're going to do next build, and you have to put 2 ampersands. Can't just be 1. Oh, what was it that I was doing? Hold on one second. Let me switch to me for a second. And I want to just check something very quickly. This is just going to take like 2 seconds. Yeah? Okay. I am checking to see what the script was, because I think it is a really awesome thing and will also help in the event that you want to optimize your Next.js application for what's it called, for the SEO. Yeah, that's it. So definitely want to do that. So before I do that, before I make any changes to my Next.js application's package JSON file, as I switch it back to this. So let's just go ahead and cancel those changes real quick. I'll get back to that in a minute. So we're going to save, and then we're going to go ahead and npm install -- save next-sitemap. And the reason I want to install Next.js sitemap, again, is because it's something that is going to help with your SEO. Google cannot search your website for content if it doesn't know what it's looking for. The sitemap gives Google directions, kind of like using GPS or Google Maps for trying to get somewhere, like you don't know where a certain restaurant is, or you don't know where your friend's house is. They just gave you an address and expected you to type that in to your GPS and be like, okay, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Next sitemap is very similar. That's your GPS, and you're telling Google, hey, you want to go here to find this content. Have fun. And so now we have, let's see here. Is it installed? It is not installed. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay, 1 second. Give me a minute. Let's see if that makes any changes. It did not. Okay. Let's see. So give me 1 second. Okay, so now I'm just going to make that small little change here. So we're going to add next sitemap in this Next.js. And then we're just going to double check to make sure that everything's working properly. It is. Beautiful. Cool. All right. Oh, wait. I forgot to save it. Sorry. Yeah. I should probably change the tagline of this podcast from remember to include your closing tags to remember to press Control S. Anyway, so the custom script that I was going to show you before we got sidetracked on that little adventure is export. And you want to have it to run these 3 concurrent commands in order. Next build, double ampersand, as I mentioned. Next, oh, what was it again? I forget. Next export, and next sitemap. I believe that's it. And you want a hyphen between next and sitemap. All right, so save it, and then I'm not going to test it on the podcast live, but this is a beautiful script that I think will help with exporting your Next.js application to FTP. So now I want to go ahead and bring in the components folder. And I want to do a new page. So we're going to right click on pages, new file. Actually, no, because folders, yeah, new folder, hello page, or just hello. And then the new file inside the hello folder is going to be index.js. I'm going to boilerplate this import React. No, hold on. Import React from React. Import. Oh, what was it that I was doing earlier? Give me a minute. Okay, let's just go ahead and import head and image. Well, not really, never mind. We'll just go ahead and say const hello equals, and we'll do an arrow function, and then return div h1 hello there for all the Star Wars fans out there. I will then export default hello. And that is your basic boilerplate for a Next.js application. Very, very similar to React, practically identical. So that is going to be that. I will now insert a happy little link at the bottom of our index file. And it's going to point to hello. And I'm going to have the link say hello there. And we're going to go ahead npm run dev. Okay, that's a little weird. Oh, I see. Okay, what the hell just happened here? What the heck? Oh boy, this is I see what's going on here. Okay. I've been installing it in the root directory this entire time. Okay, we're going to change directory to next app 14. Yeah, that might help. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, now we run npm run dev. Now we can see that that's working beautifully. It is asking me to allow JavaScript runtime, which I will. The joys of just barely installing the newest version of Node right before I started recording this podcast. And as you'll see, it says that it's ready. That is definitely faster. Whew, that is definitely a lot faster. I'm loving it. Next.js 14, localhost 3000. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it over. Oh, come on. Why are you being stubborn? There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this in real time over to that's not the window I wanted. That is the window I wanted. Okay. So we're going to go localhost 3000. And as you will see, as it loads very, very slowly, we have a new beautiful Next.js application. And we have our little hello there link at the bottom, and it goes here. Hello there. That's annoying. But then again, I didn't really change any of the styles in my CSS files. So there is that. It's probably just taking default styles from the thing. So yeah, there is that. So that is the basic premise of Next.js 14. As you saw, it is a lot faster in... Oh, I should probably do something to demonstrate how fast the update feature is going to be. So let's do this real quick. You can't see it on the screen. All right, let's time it here. So I just added something to the thing. I'm going to save it now. Beautiful. It is so much faster. Hello there, General Kenobi. Anyway, Yeah, that is a lot faster. I am liking that. So I'm very excited for Next.js 14. I will probably spend pretty much the next week updating all of my sites that I have in Next.js and update them to Next.js 14. That's gonna be fun. Yeah. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed our little experiment. I can't promise that I will be this unprepared and this uncoordinated all the time. I'll probably be a little bit more prepared for the next tech and dev podcast. But as you've noticed over the last couple of episodes with this particular podcast, it's a little bit more off the cuff. It's a little bit more, unscripted because, as you saw, I do tend to run into different issues, different hurdles, I guess you could say. Most of them by my own design, but yeah, that's the life of a developer. We fail, we hit roadblocks, and we pick ourselves up and we overcome those roadblocks eventually and we move forward. So this little experiment will probably be, I want to say, every 2, maybe 3 weeks. My idea is to release a tech and dev pod every other Friday. And for the coordinating Fridays, except for maybe the Friday after Thanksgiving, I'll release a life tip pod. So hopefully we won't have as many technical issues next time. You have no idea how many times I've had to, completely scrap the recording and go back in and re-record the whole episode all over again. So editing's gonna be fun on this one. I can tell already. Anyway, so with that said, I want to thank everybody for downloading, for listening, for watching, for donating, for doing everything you can to donate or to help the podcast along. All the links for all the things, the Next.js 14 announcement, the blog, the videos, archives, all of that is going to be in the description of this particular episode. So I want to thank you again for everything that you're doing for the podcast. And as always, remember to include, well, first of all, remember Control S is your state, Control S is your friend, and remember to include your closing tags. Bye.
This has been a Galactic Digital Studios production.